It feels like because these game developers are so focused on themselves that it's like it's so unlikely to happen. Because like like we really want to focus on our game and our main game. We don't want to really have a bunch of different multiple projects going on. It's kind of like why I don't expect a Soul Calibur game for a long time. Because Bandai Namco is putting all of their chips when it comes to fighting games, like a big major fighting game. No offense to any of the anime games they also license. They're trying to put all their MK vs KI would be a neat crossover. I think that would be a neat crossover. MK vs KI would be really cool. I think when it comes to 3D fighters, Virtual Fighter versus DOA would be really cool. For like weapon-based fighters, it'd be nice to see something like a Sam Show versus Soul Calibur, and they could just let the Sam Show team handle it and make it a 2D fighter. I'd be cool with that. I would not care at all. Well, gaming has gotten more expensive, and gaming has always been high risk, high reward. Yeah, the production cost has been more expensive, but there's also significantly more gamers than there used to be. So even when a product isn't successful, it usually still makes its money back, right? Like Soul Calibur is a perfect example, right? People are like, oh my god, Soul Calibur must have costed the studio so much. No, because they made it on a shoestring budget and it still sold at least 2 million copies. So they probably made their money back on the production costs for the game. Whenever you have a huge budget, you can get nothing in return. Who's saying that these games need to be huge budget? Their main game is Tekken. Their main game is Mortal Kombat. Their main game is MK or KI, whatever. Right? That's their main game. Who said that the crossover game has to have a giant budget? Who? Nobody said that. Nobody said that. When it comes to fighting games, I don't actually like, gaming in general, I understand. Because a lot of like AAA developers, they're like, dude, this game costed $67 billion to make. Like, what the fuck is your Who the fuck told you to spend $67 billion making a game, huh? Who told you to do that, bitch? This game costed $2 trillion to produce over the course of 20 years. What the fuck are you doing? Who told you to do that, huh? Yeah, I think the biggest issue is fighting games are so different, right? Like they don't have the big staying power that non-fighting games have. Generally, that like they're not going to pull a big audience for the story generally. So they don't get to, pump all of this money into a giant story that might not make them anything back. That's probably like the worst idea ever. But for some reason, some of these companies still try to do it. Like Tekken, they spent a lot of money on the game, and we know where that money went. Like we know that money went to the story. Like sure, the animations are all did and they're really nice, but there's not a lot of giant features when it comes to the live service has really shifted the industry and modern gaming. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I think when it comes to those live service games, it's different when they're free or very, very low cost, right? So Fortnite, for instance, has a pretty fair monetization system, and it's free, right? I don't think that these giant games competing for your wallet can really play that same game. It's kind of shitty to say, but that's just how I think it is, right? Like I never tell someone, yeah, man, just try every fighting game, and if you like the game, play it, keep playing it, but don't forget you got to get that initial $70 investment plus any DLC characters you might want to play. Go ahead and do that. Buy the new Tekken, buy Guilty Gear, don't forget to buy KOF, buy Melty Blood, buy Uni, buy Street Fighter 6, oh yeah, buy Soul Calibur 6 as well. Don't forget to buy Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising. KI is now free, but you don't get all the characters, so go ahead and buy KI as well, even though it's like a whole fucking decade old. It probably is older than some of your nieces and nephews. Buy all those games, try all of them, and then find out which one you like and stick with that one. That's a great idea. Make sure you do that. Kind of a tough sell. Kind of a tough sell. That's kind of actually why I like that I have a local scene. Thank gosh, a lot of people don't have local scenes, but local scenes are great for that, right? Someone can just bring their PS4 and all the games they have. Someone can bring their PS5 or their Xbox with all the games they have. People can bring their PCs, their laptops, whatever, with all the games they have. It's like, hey, oh yeah, you want to try that game? Yeah, let's try it, right? So now you guys play it at locals, and I kind of like the way it feels. Let me buy the new Mortal Kombat. I kind of like the way it feels. I know everyone says it sucks or whatever, but I like it. So because I like it, that's the game I want to play. That's the game I want to focus on. I'll spend the $70 plus the DLC for it. Same thing with Tekken, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, whatever it may be, right? Having a local scene is a super big help for that. It also lets you network, meet people, maybe meet people who are playing the same game as you locally, so you can get local practice, not just online practice. It sucks that all these games like cost money, right? But because they all cost money, the easiest way to really play them is with friends or people to find out if you like it or not. Because paying $70 just to try the game or waiting for a free weekend, which aren't very common anymore. I think the last game to do a big free weekend was Mortal Kombat 1 here recently did a free weekend last weekend or the weekend before, and Street Fighter 6 did a free weekend 2 months ago or 3 months ago, right? They've done free weekends, but it's not super common that a lot of these games do free weekends or have free editions. Not a demo, a free edition, right? Like what is it called? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising has a free edition that's almost a demo, but you can play with the active player base that currently exists. So I consider it more of a free version, even though it has a rotating cast and you can only use Gran as your one character other than the rotating character. It's more of a free version than it is a demo, which is good. I really like that. I hope more games do that because every game costs too much for you to try for you to figure out if you really want to play it long term or not. That would be a really, really big thing for this industry if games either costed less when it came to fighting games, either costed less or had freemium versions. I'm not saying that specifically I want every fighting game to go free to play and have to have these crazy monetization systems, but how many people do you know that would play Street Fighter if they could just buy their one character? Right, like, oh, I'm only going to buy Kimberly, and I'll buy every associated Kimberly skin, and I'm only looking to play online. So I don't really care about arcade mode. I don't care about World Tour, Survival, Team Battle, whatever modes that exist in the offline ecosystem. I don't care about anything. I want Kimberly and her cool ninja skin and the fucking hip hop cred skin. I want those. That's what I want. That's all I care about. I'm buying Kimberly and her 3 skins, and I'm going to play Street Fighter. But because there's a $70 price tag attached, some people are like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't really want to pay that to play this live service game, this live service competitive multiplayer game, when I could just go play Valorant, or I could just go play Rocket League, or Fortnite, or Call of Duty Warzone, right? You're not just competing, unfortunately. Fighting games aren't just competing for their time with other fighting games. You're competing with other games that are ongoing online competitive multiplayer games. That's just how it works. You're competing with League of Legends. I'm sorry, but you're competing with League of Legends. You're competing with Hearthstone, Legends of Runeterra. You're competing with Apex Legends as a fighting game. If you want your game to succeed, you've got to kind of get with the times a little bit. Creeper, thanks for the resub. I appreciate that. Right? Maybe you guys hard disagree. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tweaking. Maybe I'm some new school Zoomer who doesn't understand that if you want to play fighting games, you should pony up and pay the $60, bitch. Like, that's just how it should work. In this current gaming industry, I don't think that that's going to give you a giant leg up on the competition. If you let more people in the door, more people are likely to spend money in your game. If you're holding people off to that by that barrier of entry from that $70, that $60, there's going to be less people likely to play your game. If you're broke, just say that. Basically, yeah, if you can't afford the fucking cookies, if you're broke, just say that. But guess what? Pokemon's probably not selling as many fucking cookies as she wants because they're too damn expensive to some people. Maybe I'd buy the Pokemon cookies. I have no idea. What do they taste like? Does anyone know what the Pokemon cookies taste like? The one she's selling for you weird perverbs out there.